Hi, it's Dr. Jan Roberts again from A Smile Above. Today I'd like to answer 4 common questions I get asked about crowns. Okay, so let's go here. Question number 1. What's the difference between a crown and a cap? There is no difference. They're 2 words for the same thing. Dentists call them crowns. Many other people call them caps. I don't know why. They're just 2 words for the same kind of procedure. Maybe it comes from the idea that a crown sits on top of something, just like a cap sits on top of something. I don't know. Same thing. What a crown is something that actually goes over a tooth, holds it all together, and keeps it from breaking apart. So crown or cap, same thing, do the same job. So question number 2, what causes that ugly black line at the gum line? Well, years ago, crowns were made with metal underneath the porcelain, and often that metal showed through at the gum line, causing it to look black. Not very attractive. Do they all have to be like that? Answer is no. If you get a crown from us, we don't use that type of material most often, and you won't have an ugly black line at the gum line. So question number 3 is, do you have to grind my teeth down to little pegs? The answer to this one is, well, it depends. It depends on how much natural tooth structure is left. So what determines how much natural tooth structure is left? Several things. If you've got a big filling in the tooth, there's not much natural tooth structure left. If you've got decay that's attacking a tooth that's got a filling in it, there's going to be less natural tooth structure left. If a piece of tooth is broken off, you've lost more natural tooth structure. So it really depends on what we're dealing with and how much natural tooth is left. The big takeaway from this is, get your teeth checked regularly, make sure that they're looked after, and if the dentist recommends that you have a crown on the tooth for a certain reason, you should seriously consider it, because the longer you wait, the more difficult it is to fix. So question number 4 is, what are crowns made of? So the first type of material that I use probably the most frequently is all porcelain. And the type of porcelain I use is, here comes a big word, lithium disilicate. We call it Emax. It's made by the Ivoclar Vivadent company. And it can be used in a couple of different ways. It can be used as what we call a monolithic crown, which means that the whole crown is made out of one piece of this material. We use that at the back of the mouth where the forces are stronger and where we need extra resilience and strength. For front areas of the mouth, this lithium disilicate can be cut back, and the Ceramus can layer over top of it another layer that has more translucency and individual characteristics that we use where aesthetics are of primary concern. So the second material that crowns can be made of is something called zirconium dioxide, or as it's sometimes called, zirconia. It is a ceramic material that we use when we need something to be very strong. So we use zirconia where we need strength. So primarily in the back of the mouth where it's not quite as visible because it can look a little bit opaque. If we need to use it in the front of the mouth, we need to layer it like we did with the Emax in the front of the mouth. Layer it with a more translucent layer of porcelain to make it look more natural. However, Emax is still primarily more aesthetic at the front. The third type of material that is used for crowns is something called PFM, or porcelain fused to metal. This has been the traditional type of material that's been used for many, many years in an attempt to make a strong crown that has some natural appearance as well. This is the one that I referenced earlier that can sometimes cause that black line at the gum line. Doesn't always have to, but it has a tendency to do that. It's been used traditionally, as I said, for many years as a very strong material. I still use it sometimes in certain situations where we need strength and we want something that is somewhat lifelike and natural looking, but it's not in a highly aesthetic area. The last material I'd like to mention that we make crowns out of is gold. And there's a reason why we talk about the gold standard. Gold is used where strength is primary concern, where you want to be very conservative. Gold is very malleable and can be made very, very thin, so you don't have to take very much tooth structure away. It is strong, and it's probably the material that will last the longest. It has been around the longest in dentistry and is still, in certain circumstances, a very, very good material to use. So here I've answered 4 common questions I get asked about crowns. Number 1 is, what's the difference between a crown and a cap? Number 2 was, what causes that ugly black line at the gum line? Number 3 was, do you have to grind my teeth down to little pegs? And number 4 is, what are crowns made of? I hope this information has been helpful. It's been fun talking to you about this. If you have any further questions that you'd like to find out that might pertain to your particular situation, I'd be happy to talk with you. Give us a call at A Smile Above or leave your comments in the box below. So until next time, I'm Dr. Jan from A Smile Above.